Good morning, class. My name is Eva Rodriguez, and I will be doing an editorial speech on Donald Trump's nomination speech. Donald Trump, you're fired. Wait a minute. Should we be saying instead, Mr. President, you're hired? If you know Donald Trump, he's that temperamental, yet sometimes very arrogant, and with such an opinionated attitude that only Mr. Trump can portray. Who would have thought an individual who has primarily made himself famous by the simple remarks of "you're fired" would come to lead the Republican nomination for the most important position any American would be honored to hold? On July 21st, 2016, Donald Trump accepted the Republican nomination for the President of the United States. This is an American businessman wanting to bring back America for the American people. However, the circumstances are, do the American people believe Donald Trump? Throughout Mr. Trump's nomination speech, he talks about uniting the people to help them from harm's way, opportunities for all Americans to become successful as a nation, along with uniting us all to a tune of harmony and tranquility. Now, isn't that exactly what the American people want? To be able to have safer neighborhoods, for the killing to stop, and learn to place the American people first. Mr. Trump says it very clearly in his nomination speech. The American people will come first once again. Now, how about others? How many others have said that very same thing? We have had 44 presidents beforehand, all who had tried to bring back America. We, as the American people, allowed them to try, and some would say they too had failed. Mr. Trump, again, is a very successful businessman. He makes claims in his nomination speech about most politicians are there for only self-gain. The Pew Research Center would also agree. 74% Americans feel that most politicians do place their own needs before themselves. So maybe this is the true reasoning why some Americans may not believe Mr. Trump. Is it possible for the American people to allow this man the same opportunity to share his ideas to help bring back the American way for the American people? After all, doesn't the American people stand strong with these same issues? Is the American people ready to now commend Mr. Trump's speech for wanting to place the people first? Now, what about those Democrats? With their nomination candidate, Hillary Clinton, or as Mr. Trump straightforwardly describes her, this is the legacy of Hillary Clinton: death, destruction, terrorism, and weakness. As Clinton is in a pickle of her own over top secret government mails that she may have erased from her personal email, per legal analyst Dan Abrams from ABC News, there may not be no crime committed after all. Again, throughout Mr. Trump's speech, he is offering a change in government, a change in politicians that are going to place the American people first, once and for all. So in a nutshell, what does all this mean? When we finally sum up Donald Trump's speech, what do we conclude the message that Donald Trump is truly trying to convey to the American people? This businessman would like to place the American people first. So Donald Trump, you're fired, because the American people will be saying instead, Mr. President, you're hired. Thank you.